Yes, Abdullah, we are recording in as well. And right, so I think we have around more than 100 participants for right now. As soon as more participants join in, I'll continue the drill of admitting them into this room. Um, First of all, I would like to welcome all of you to this joint webinar that is being conducted by both International Youth Alliance Model UN alongside International Diplomatic Opera, an event, a conference initiated by LGS Lahore Grammar School, a very renowned school in the Pakistani circuit. It's from Lahore, Pakistan, and their Secretary General Abdullah Hamid has put in tremendous work and an effort for this particular venture to establish, to prosper, and to do so good in this particular times. I would just request Jameel to just introduce our organization and us as the team members who've joined in today, and then we can request Abdullah to start the formal proceedings of the session.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Just give me a second. I'm trying to get my audio to work. Just give me a sec. Anyway, please excuse me for that second. So, hello, everyone. My name is Jamil, and I am the director for marketing for International Youth Alliance Model UN. And currently, I'll just give you a brief intro of our organization. And then later on, after Abdullah speaks, we can introduce ourselves. What International Youth Alliance is an organization that was created by youth leaders around the world, especially located in New York City and in London. Our organization is registered as an organization here in New York City. Even we have a tax ID as well. So what happened was that we felt that this is something that was needed to facilitate to the growing youth of our world, as such as yourself, who are quarantined home. So we felt like giving you access to this platform was quite necessary. We believe in the youth engagement in sustainable development goals, and what we can do for each individually, even if it's from our home. I'd like to let you guys know that our team is as international as it could be. As you can see from today, from just the handful of our team members who will be presenting you today, represent various different nationalities. And hopefully, if you were to participate in a conference, you would see the diversity that we hold. We believe diversity is the way to go, and we hope that and after this presentation, you guys are motivated, to register. If not, just to look into who we are and show your interest. So thank you, Shah, and
Right.
I give it.
Thank you so much, Jameel. So, as for this particular webinar, the proceedings would be that we'll start with a small speech from the Secretary General of International Diplomatic Opera. He'd introduce their MUN and tell us more about what they have done so far and what they're doing now, followed by a speech from not only a member who's in the secretariat and as representing as a chair for International Diplomatic Opera, but someone who's also associated with International Youth Alliance Model UN, Sarah, who's been working tremendously on both the sides and other conferences around the world to make this world a better place and to inculcate that knowledge within the youth for today to make them the leaders of tomorrow. So considering how this is, she'd be addressing more about what MUNs are, why we need to do them, and how is going to be how is this MUNs that you're going to attend for the International Diplomatic Opera and the International Youth Alliance Model UN. how can they be beneficial for all of you for your future. And considering that, then we have a short presentation for all of you as well that would be shown to you, followed by a Q&A session in which we would really, really request all of you to direct any formal or informal question that you have regarding the participation or MUNs generally, or anything for that matter regarding the fields and domains of Model UN. So I would like to give the floor, first of all, to the Secretary General of International Diplomatic Opera, Abdullah Hamid.
Right. Thank you for the vivid description. Salam, namaste, sat sri akal, and hello. My name is Mohammad Abdullah Hamid, and I am the Secretary General for International Diplomatic Opera. This is an MUN based in Pakistan, but has its roots internationally set as well. We are an MUN which was established 4 years back, but then again, slowly and slowly we tread on, and then this year we are now international, keeping the entire online modus operandi intact. International Diplomatic Opera last year, in its physical sense, conducted FLMUN. FLMUN had the largest middle school MUN participation in the entire Pakistan. FLMUN also not only brought together private schools, but also brought towards the more disarrayed government schools of Pakistan as well on a single platform, and allowed everyone to speak, channel, and voice their opinions as loudly as they can on a single platform. As we went international this year, our entire international secretariat, and I'm proud of that. And we have one of our international secretariat, one of our members of the international secretariat present over here as well. If some of the delegates present over here are from United Nations Women, this is already your initial interaction with your chair, who is Sarah El Anyways, as we went international, we had to reach out to more working organizations. We had to further our reach, our idea, our mantle about what MUN is, how public speaking works, all of the ideas and all of the nuanced operations of what Model UN conferences are, etc., etc. And obviously, without a backbone, without a backbone, it's important. It's immaculately difficult to present and to conduct an MUN without having a prior support from an international organization. And we're proud to announce that we at International Diplomatic Opera are proud that we have such an incredible support from the International Youth Alliance, and we hope to work with them as much as quarterly as we can, not only as delegates or in secretariat positions or senior management positions, but we'd hopefully establish this connection not only for this coming August, which the IVA MUN is to be held, but we hope to extend this relationship far beyond August and every year, and in different ways and different avenues, etc. Now, before I hand over the floor to one of the representatives of the International Youth Alliance, there are two things that I want to establish as Secretary General for International Diplomatic Opera. One, we have kept it free of cost for the entire international delegates as well as national delegates. The reason we did this was to give them a boost for all other global activities and to give them a platform so that, every region, be it in Pakistan or be it outside Pakistan, can connect on a single platform and then can advocate for whatever means that they can and come together to form solutions to various different proportionally important matters of discussion. So we kept it free for everyone. We did not discriminate against any gender, any race, any religion, any caste, any creed, none of that. Second of all, we're also one of the few model UNs in the entire world who have created and established an ethics committee to monitor digital and cyberbullying that may or may not occur. That is just as an additive, that is just a binary additive that we have established as a Model UN program to make sure that none of that is occurred, and we have no room for any sort of discrimination when it comes to digital cyberbullying or digital cyber harassment for that case in this regards. We have 5 committees at International Diplomatic Opera. One of them is United Nations Security Council. We have kept it at 15 delegates plus 2 observers to maintain its essence of what United Nations Security Council is. The topic that we're discussing is the dispute between India and China on the line of actual control, the de facto border. Second of all, we have United Nations Women. The topic that we have selected for United Nations Women is PTSD and emotional stress disorders and domestic violence. The third committee we have is WHO, World Health Organization, which will be a crisis committee. The fourth committee we have is Pakistan National Assembly. Obviously, a lot of delegates, except for India, who know how to speak Hindi and Urdu simultaneously, can participate in Pakistan National Assembly since it's a bilingual committee, and we don't generally accept international delegates since they're not fluent with Urdu. Fifthly, the last committee that we have, and probably the backbone of our MUN conference as well, because this was something very interesting that was pitched in by the chairs as well as the entire management. And a lot of delegates seem to respond to this particular idea in great sense. Our last committee is Joint Crisis Committee, which is based on two further committees, which is one, Trump's cabinet, and two, Democratic National Convention. The two streams are obviously in polarity very much different, and we've kept it as a race as well. So it's basically race for 2020 White House, in which we'll discuss racism, we'll discuss 2020 elections, and then it's a roll-on crisis as well. And we have very incredible chairs for that, and a crisis staff that is diligent to maintain that sense. Keeping at that, we expect that we work closely together with International Youth Alliance and International Diplomatic Opera. I'll personally make sure that every registration that comes at International Diplomatic Opera, we've already closed our registrations. We received more than 100 responses, and we have around 70 teams that are coming in to participate from Pakistan and outside as well. We'd make sure that all of those teams are forwarded to International Youth Alliance so that the delegates are not deprived of any sort of global experience that they were destined to and were unfortunately tackled in with the advent of this dark cloud cover of COVID-19. So let us together fight, and let us together work and advocate for peace in times of in dire times, and in times of worry, and in times of sorrow. And let us channel that, and let us make sure that none of our successors per se or any future diplomat is deprived of any global sense. So handing over the floor to Sarah Al-Abd, one of our chairs for United Nations Women and a diligent worker for International Youth Alliance. We're very happy to have conducted the session. Hopefully we're going to conduct more as well. And this is it for me. It's Abdullah Ahmed as Secretary General for International Diplomatic Opera.
Thank you, Abdullah, and hello, everyone. I hope you're well. Abdullah, that was a really insightful speech you made and gave a lot of valid points on the situation we're in globally right now. My name is Sarah Al-Abd. I am living between Beirut, Lebanon, and Copenhagen, Denmark. To introduce myself a bit, I'm a policy researcher and I'm the editor-in-chief of a national newspaper. I have worked with the UNDP, UNESCO, along with other various offices and organizations of the United Nations. I'm currently esteemed to be part of the Secretariat for IYA-MUN, as well as to chairing the conference of the UN Security Council during our conference at the end of August. However, I will also be your chair for the UN Women Committee in August for the International Diplomatic Opera. So for those delegates that will be in my committee then, it's glad to finally meet you. And I look forward to our conference in a few short weeks. With that, in the times we're in right now, our leaders are immensely struggling to partake the public health concerns that we're having. And it's therefore important for us as individuals, both as policy understanders and researchers, but also as everyday citizens, to not forget all the problems that were existing pre-COVID and continue to exist during our pandemic. And for that, Model United Nations conferences are key. In these conferences, we must deal with all these matters, including matters of the Security Council and UN Women, but also amongst various other platforms, because those problems do not disappear under a pandemic. We may not notice them as much because we have other concerns that directly affect our life in various ways, but these concerns still exist in our societies. And therefore, it's important that you have a platform such as Model United Nations as provided by IYA, as well as the International Diplomatic Opera, to discuss these and come to resolutions. With that said, this collaboration between IYA MUN and the International Diplomatic Opera is not only natural to occur, it's quite critical. And we rest assured that all of you as delegates will have a fantastic learning experience, all while making an impact not only on yourselves as individuals, but on your peers within this committee and long after this committee. Model UN offers you as delegates a whole new world. But more importantly than that, it offers our world a whole new chance to develop. Your input makes impact. And the more you discuss, the more you resolve, you are helping the development of the crises that the world faces today. And so for that, these conferences do not only open your eyes to the concerns of the world, but it provides you with the necessary skills to how to react to the world, how to solve the problems of our world, not just how to understand them. With that said, allow me to tell you a little bit about how many of us, as either current MUN organizers, chairs, DIAS members, but also as delegates, what we go on to do and the impact that we create in our lives, but also in our societies. So most of us who actively partake and work within the world of Model UN, we find careers in diplomacy, some in politics, others in law, and various other areas that allow us to understand how to resolve conflicts and the problems that we face. But not only that, how to find the solutions and ensure that they are sustainable. The many career paths that you can take include working in the United Nations, of course. The United Nations have various headquarters for their organizations and their offices around the world. Most likely there is one in your region. More than that, you can work alongside their sub-organizations and their sub-offices. But it's not just limited to the United Nations. The skills that you will have after partaking in Model UN will help you in your school, in your future university career. It will help you in research. It will help you whether you're going into a career of diplomacy or whether you're going into a career of engineering. It will help you as an individual understand you are yourself, but you're also so much more than that. You have a bigger picture in the world. And that is critical, especially in the society and the new world order that we're seeing. With that said, many also take down a path in journalism and media and to try to put these skills into work. The options are truly endless. And with that said, I do hope that all of you here on this call understand that Model UN is an experience for you. However, it's also an experience for others because the skills that you learn today, you will help in your communities, in your societies, not only in your countries, but also in the world. So for that, we hope that the International Diplomatic Opera Conference will be a grand success for you. And as a member of the UN Women, I will ensure that we have a fruitful conference and we come to fantastic, insightful, and intellectual resolutions. As well as a chair for the Security Council at IYAMUN, I hope to see many of you there, not only within my committee, of course, but within our conference as a whole, as this will boost you in understanding how to resolve conflict. The more practice, the better you get. And the more insight you get, the better impact you can create. With that said, I pass the floor back to my colleagues at IYAMUN. Thank you. Hope to see you all soon.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was not only uh, fruitful and beneficial for the delegates around the world, but it was also a very pertinent speech that was required for these times and these hard times on all of us individually, because every single one of us has a story that we can talk about during these past 4 to 5 months, and I think every single one of us would want to make the best of these times on us, so we have that story in the most positive of the manners that we can discuss, tell, and narrate to others around us. And that is something that we would like to talk to you, all of you today, with uh, who we are and what we are, what our mission and vision is, and what we plan on doing at this International Youth Alliance Model UN conference that we've organized for the youth of today, to make their futures better, to make them responsible enough, to make them enough of the leaders that they can hold in those certain responsibilities onto their shoulders and contribute to the society in their own frame, zone, uh, and in their own aptitude and in their own true essence and manner. So we have, for that manner, we have this brief presentation that is devised and tailor made for the participants of International Diplomatic Opera uh, to get a chance to actually participate at International Youth Alliance Model UN, a conference that is based primarily in United States of America, in New York. It is under the banner of an organization which is known as the Global Leaders of Tomorrow, which is a licensed and registered organization in the state of New York, in the city of New York. And under that banner, we created this organization and this MUN International Youth Alliance, which has its virtual edition happening from 28th of August till the 30th of August. It is being attended. The development of only today is that we have had uh, an acceptance from the ambassador of United Nations. She's going to join in this conference for the opening ceremony at IYAMUN, and she's going to be there alongside many individuals of stature and personality that has served in their own ways and in their own fields to the world, to the global prosperity, and they have done so, which we'll definitely discuss during this presentation. Now, just talking a little bit further about us, the table of contents that we'd like to share for this particular presentation is defining who we are, our mission, vision, our goals, the committees and topics that we have, the registration, the process of registration and how to go about it, the digital diplomacy training sessions that we have, the digital diplomacy training sessions that we have for this particular conference is basically something that we are an expert in, and that is something that defines our conference from the conferences otherwise in the world that are happening. And when we talk about the digital diplomacy training sessions, there are four training sessions and four diplomacy sessions that we have, considering the first one, which entitles towards the rules of procedures. Then we have for the working paper and the draft resolutions. Then we have training sessions for how to negotiate. And then, but not limited to, we have a training sessions regarding how to be that apt of a public speaker. And they're all being conducted by the most relevant and the most important people out there. So, moving on towards who we are and about us, we are basically a youth led organization which includes young minds, young souls who have served in United Nations in different capacities or other international organizations and bodies. We entitle and we want to engage with the youth of today to inculcate and transfer all the knowledge that we have had during these times, the experiences that we have gone through, and transfer them to all of you at IYAMUN as the participants of this particular conference. We believe that the youth is there, that can be essential tool to contribute and make a change in the society and contribute to the sustainable development goals that the United Nations has set in, which were the Millennium Development Goals and then moved on as the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. We, as different participants from different countries, have already tried to make sure that we have tried to achieve those sustainable development goals. But through attending this conference, you'd better understand and know what those goals are and how we have tried to make sure that you, as an individual, are there to make sure that you contribute and be resilient. And this conference becomes an inclusive conference for you to basically achieve them in the long run. Now, the another objective that International Youth Alliance, as we believe in diversity, all our team is diverse and we all belong from different parts of the world, from different continents and different parts of different places around the global world. And in the same way, we have made sure that the participation of young minds like all of you present over here are from different parts of the world as well. And once you participate in this conference, you get that truly global and diverse experience, that you not only make friends from around your country, but you make friends from around the globe. So we believe in intellectual socialization, we believe in intellectual diplomacy, and we believe in intellectual diplomacy as well as in international negotiation, that we believe in, and that is what we focus on. Now, moving on towards our mission, particularly about our mission, the first thing is about our training, the something that we focus on. So we would basically train you from the scratch go as to how to essentially participate in international conference, because you understand the domains of a national and a local conference very much differentiates from what it is to an international conference. So basically, in the same way, the first thing is that we have designed those creative tools and those creative solutions for all of you to actually participate and get those secret ingredients and that recipe to actually not only participate, not only participate as a delegate, but also achieve those results that are very much needed, that would yield towards you becoming that diplomat who can devise those creative engineered solutions and become a better leader of tomorrow. The second thing that we focus on while we talk about the training sessions is the education. We believe that education is one thing that has been transferred virtually, which was happening physically all over the world. Now, when all of us are very much equipped with how the sessions are happening, how everything has gotten virtual, in the same manner, in the same sense, we also would want to focus that education by engagement, education by involving youth is something that is a tool that we primarily focus on. And that is something that our mission includes as well. Now, the last thing that we include and we try to empower is the empowering of the delegates themselves. As our parent organization, Global Leaders of Tomorrow, and us individually, we want to pass on that baton of that success of experiences, the enriching experiences that we have had towards all of you at International Youth Alliance. We would want to transfer that leadership role to every single one of you so you can become that global leader of tomorrow to bring that change in the society in the near future. Now, moving on towards our vision, in the same manner as what our mission is, our vision revolves around primarily five different things. Deciding the first thing is empowering the youth to become the future leaders, and that basically only would involve when we bring you the best people out there, when we bring you the best chairs out there, when we bring you the best study guides out there, when we bring you that atmosphere in which you will feel that there's a transformation that is happening for all of you. And that is something we promise that we will do that at IYAMUN. The second thing is guiding and providing you everything to attend an international conference. Now, when we talk about how to guide you, we have not only arranged 4 pre-sessions before the conference, which we'll discuss right after in this particular presentation as well. But one thing that no other conference provides is the guidance that we're trying to give before and after the conference ends as well. So international trainers, international diplomats, and international team of IYAMUN would be engaged with you not only before the conference, but after the conference. If you have any questions, we would hold regular sessions as to you can join them, address those questions. So in any conference that you would want to participate in the future, you can actually ask us questions, and we'd be very much happy and entitled to respond to you and share with you as to how you can be a better diplomat with other conferences as well. Now, the next thing is that what we provide the delegates is the enriching MUN experience. And when we talk about the enriching MUN experience, considering the global health crisis, we understand that the physical conference itself is an experience itself, traveling, going, living, meeting people physically. But at this conference, we have tried our level best to make it as close to reality. We're going to have the Google Drives in place. We're going to have the social media groups in place. So all of you can interact with each other. All of you can interact with each other through messages, through videos, through different means and more than all of that. So we can provide as close of an experience, an international experience that we can while we are in this global health crisis. Now, moving on towards something that we've really been focusing on, that is the fact that our debating ethos has no boundaries, it's not limited to anything. That is why when we talk about our session of negotiations, you'd get to know about it in the further slides, that who is conducting that session of negotiations and why is that particular person chosen or requested or invited for that particular session to be taken, is when you'd understand that we have not kept the boundaries only entitled towards a limited source and academics, but we have opened up towards bringing the best people out there in for your own presence. Now, the last thing is that the MUN itself is being conducted on a 3-day conference, which includes the training session, workshops, opening, closing, all the digital training and the digital workshops that we're conducting. It's as close to, we'll be sharing the schedule as well. We've tried to make sure that it's as close and convenient. The time zones that we have decided, the schedules that came into place, the kind of atmosphere that we wanted to create, it's all as close as to a physical conference. So as we move on with the next slides by my fellow team members of IYAMUN, we'd better explain you how we've tried to make sure that this is as close, as better, and as clear as it is for this. And just one last thing before I extend my vision and ask other people to contribute into it, is the fact that at International Diplomatic Opera, the kind of ethos and the kind of uh, atmosphere that they've created for school and for the Secretary General. I just recently went through the study guides. I went through their delegate guidebook and all of that. It is really commendable for the kind of efforts that they have put in and the kind of dedication at this age and level that they've put in. And that is why we felt that it is very important to collaborate with people and with organizations like them, that we can actually boost, not only boost them, but also kind of give that legitimacy towards these organizations and to us as to what we're doing is not only for the organization, but as well as for the entire world itself. Now, I would like the rest of the team members of IYMUN to please continue further with the presentation.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. A brief introduction. I'm Daniel. I'm currently in the United States, but between here and London. My background is Master's in Economics from Imperial College London, where I met Jamil, actually, another fellow member you'll hear from. My experience includes being Chief Financial Officer of a high-growth startup in London, and further experience in both consulting and finance, and lately assisting as needed as advisor for economic structure of St. Louis in the United States during COVID. Which brings me here, because from the private sector, I see firsthand the need and importance for policy, and can't wait to see the diversity in views you all bring and be the future leaders that we need. So just to really dive in, our goal thus has become to host as many different schools, colleges as possible into parlaying, negotiating under the cloud cover of COVID-19. What does this mean? Well, we're doing this really in unprecedented times for everyone around the world. We value the diversity for our conference, and this diversity encapsulates the value and the mission, which is why we're reaching out to you globally. So we will all be able to come together and channel our understanding, policy, and learning to channel the future leaders of us all. you all, and your importance in the future direction of the world, even under the blanket of COVID-19. And then I will pass along for further.
Shah, if you could go to the next slide.
All right. With that said, thank you. At IYA MUN, we will be having 3 phenomenal committees. Personally, I would say they're each as enriching as one another. However, they tackle very different topics, all relevant to what we're going through right now as individuals, as well as in policy, but also ever critical to post the current circumstances. Our first committee will be the World Health Assembly. For the World Health Assembly, there will be 2 main discussion topics. The first one on the floor would be public health and the global tourism under COVID-19. And the second topic of debate is the physical and mental health of women and young girls in a lockdown during COVID-19. For the UNHCR, the Higher Commissioner for Refugees, we will be debating, firstly, advancing refugee protection in the face of the pandemic. And secondly, we will be discussing forced displacement due to climate change and devising a sustainable future. Last but not least, for the committee that I will be chairing, we have the UN Security Council, where we will be re-evaluating the mandate, the function, and the efficiency of blue helmets, also part of the peacekeeping missions, as well as the current situation in Mali. So we hope to see you in either of those 3 committees, of course.
Hi everyone, my name is Salwa. I'll be the USG for operations in IYA Moon. I'm currently a student in a bachelor degree in international economics and trade. Regarding registrations, the IYA Moon conference fee will be $30, and I would like to bring the light on the point that it's a required fee for all delegates, and it's not including the digital training sessions that will be held in. This fee includes the Zoom conference, the certificate of completion, and more importantly, the support from our team at all stages of the conference. The study guides and delegates books that had been made exclusively for IYA Moon delegates and that by experienced Mooners and chairs. These study guides are meant to be handed to delegates when they're registered. And in aim to avoid any inconvenience with payments and have as much diversity and as much delegates around the world, we made you can pay with debit card, credit card, Alipay, PayPal from anywhere in the world. And last but not least, in aim to make your experience the best, we thought of having pre-conference workshops, as Shah said before, that had been called Moon Digital Diplomacy Trainings. These are optional sessions that delegates are encouraged to register since that they're to help delegates prepare for the conference from experts in the field. And from then, I pass it to Jamil, who will give you more information regarding those sessions. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We've discussed about this digital diplomacy training from the first slides to now. So what are they exactly, right? So yeah, we have our conference on August 28th to the 30th, right? So what we have here is a training program that will help all the new beginners of Model UN to be ready for the conference, as well as all those experts, Model UNers who've been part of various different conferences, whether it be 5 of them or 10 of them or even more, right? To enhance your skills, right? To enhance your skills with professionals from the field. So when you are attending a conference, you are ready, right? And so these training sessions not only get you ready for a Model UN conference, but rather get you ready for various different projects in life and experiences in life. Of course, these are based on different difficulty levels. So we have the introduction to MUN procedure, right? So that will be done by a very experienced team of individuals who've been part of Model UNs from all over the world, various different times, right? So that's a beginner level. Now we have a session 2 that does resolution writing workshop. We have seen various times in our conference, when I was a delegate myself back in the day, is some of our fellow delegates nearby don't know how to write a resolution, and we have wasted times and hours in that, right? So what will happen here is you will be taught in a very meticulous way of learning how to write a draft resolution, how a working paper becomes a draft resolution, as well as how to write a very concrete position paper. So that's an intermediate level. Now, session 3, right, is where it gets even more exciting. It's the art of public speaking and eliminating your fear, right? How many times have you seen yourself be on stage and be nervous and just read out from a paper and not make any eye contact? Or rather, you you memorized it, but it's the idea of delivering a speech the right way to touch the chords of everyone's hearts. And that will be taught by a professor here at the City University of New York, who has done extensive years of teaching for public speaking, and a personal friend of mine. So that's something to look out to. Next is we have a diplomacy and negotiation training, right? So that will be done by someone who can speak in a slide or two. Again, an expert on the field of how to persuade your listeners, how to win someone over. So these little things that are very important. Now, Dan, if you could just continue this on, please.
Yeah, thank you, Jamil, for going over the training. So just briefly, if we look at pricing, you see that the base fee for the conference is $30 USD. For this, you're really getting one of the best deals possible for the price, given the extent of the speakers and all the training involved and the expertise that everyone's bringing in. As you can see, there are added additional optional fees for the training from Diplomacy 1 all the way through training session 4. And this will give you experience of the actual conference virtually, as Jamil was saying, the international experience right from the comfort of your own home, just for the $30 USD base fee. And the trainings, again, are completely optional. If we want to go to the next slide.
Yes, so thank you. I'll just quickly cover this. So this was the individual that I was speaking of. He is one of our many speakers, including just today we were able to confirm the ambassador to the UN, who will be presenting and then speaking at our opening ceremony. You can check her up on our Instagram. Another individual who is a very interesting conference that will happen is Tom Charquet. He is a hostage negotiator for the Canadian police, right? And he, as you can see in the 1970s, he was a U.S. Ranger, and he was awarded 2 Bronze Stars for heroic achievement. And in 1995, he completed his training from Quantico FBI Academy. And 2004, you can search this up. He was the lead negotiator for the Union Stage hostage crisis. All right, and then 2005, he was the instructor in the Operational Tactics National SWAT and Sniper Symposium, and he was awarded the Excellence Award of Excellence and Officer of the Year. And in 2011, he was the recipient of Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee Medal. So this man has been around the block for the longest, and you know what you can learn from him is how the art of negotiation. All right, when you have nothing on your side, right, you have no leverage, but with your skills, how to have everything back to you, how to win the situation over. So this is a very perhaps the most interesting session that we have, and I urge all of you to register for this one. Shah, if you could go to the next slide. Dan?
Yeah, so let's look at just briefly along the schedule. Everything will be in London time, GMT. This will be to benefit the delegates from around the world. We picked a time that is suitable to you all. We wanted to allow for as many participants to really dive in and have the most amazing conference that we can. If we just take a look, day 1 will begin Friday, August 28th at 10 a.m. and end at 3 p.m. Day 2, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And day 3, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with the closing ceremonies ending the fantastic conference ahead. I'll pass it along.
So basically we have about 10 minutes left, so I will just quickly go through this. So what benefit for a delegate here, right? So not only does the best delegates for each committee is awarded $100 US, right? You get a certificate for all participants, right? And and you get separate awards for recognition and your achievements in your committees, right? We have expert chairs from all over the world. You can pick your committee when you register, your preference and your countries. That's that. Again, a chance to interact and socialize with potential friends and to expand your network around the world, right? And to be trained by experts of the field, right? And then you get a feedback session from us, right, of how you've done in the conference and ways you could improve. These are constructive criticism, right? And and we will highlight what you have excelled in, right? So with that being said, right, you can also, this is just a stepping stone of what we are going to do in early of next year, and that is to host a physical conference, right, under the umbrella of Global Leaders of Tomorrow. Some of the cities that we're discussing, are still in talks, but either Brussels, Marrakesh, or Istanbul or Bangkok. These are some cities that we're thinking of hosting a big full-on conference for everyone around the world, and specifically for you. So if you register now, we will make sure the relationship that we build today will be harnessed and fruitful in the upcoming conferences. So now, with that being said, please keep in mind, the registration deadline is August 10th. Now, we will leave the floor up for questions. Now, you can either ask questions by writing on the chat, or you can say it out loud. Okay, so we have about 9 to 10 minutes left. So if you could just give us, and this is our info. You can follow us on Instagram at IYA_MUN. Go to our website. That's where you can register. It's super easy. And then, or you could like us on International Youth Alliance Model UN Facebook page. Or for further inquiries, either reach out to Abdullah, Shah, or write us an email at our admin at iyamun.org. So are there any questions? Feel free to do so. And again, I want to thank all of you for joining in here today. That's very kind to take out your time, and hopefully, you guys got a good understanding of what the conference is going to be. And of course, yeah, I'm just you can write it out, say it however you feel. I hope we were able to give you a good overview of it, and whatever you need, we're always here for you. What is the topic for PNA? Is that a committee in International Diplomatic Opera?
That's a committee in Pakistan National Assembly, yeah.
We don't have that in our conference.
Yes, Inaya, you have a question?
Yes, I didn't quite get the topics of UNHCR. If you could please go through them again.
I can go through them again.
Well, hello. I have a question.
Yeah. Yes. Just wait a second so we can answer Inaya's question really quickly.
Yes, Inaya, these are the topics, and you can just note them down as well if you wish to.
Or take a picture. So go ahead, your question, sir.
So you were discussing about sustainable development goals. So I want to ask what we have to do to be a part of sustainable development goals of United Nations.
Right. So sustainable development goals, right? There are various goals that we can tackle. And now, what can we do? Okay, one aspect of what we're doing right now, you can say, is a way we're achieving sustainable development goals, right? Providing youth a platform such as this to discuss it, right? So, and while we're discussing this, maybe we can find solutions to it. I hope you realize when you guys write these draft resolutions, or these resolutions that are passed, right? You have no idea the amount of resourceful, ideas that are being put in paper. You know, if we can discuss this, and if we can have a platform to stimulate such conversations, we can. It's itself is a way of achieving sustainable development goals. Of course, these are just indirect effects of it, right? I know exactly what you mean, right? Of the direct ways we can involve ourselves, and that is something we can all as a team can discuss, and you and your committee can develop that. Are there any other questions? We have about 5 minutes left.
So I just got a question privately that what is going to be the time zone for the conference? We've just mentioned that it's going to follow the Greenwich Mean Time, which is the London time. But as most of the participants today are from, we've seen a lot of participants from Asia and South Asia. We've carefully devised our schedule, which primarily caters and focuses on the participants of the Asian continent as well. So it's going to start around the midday in the afternoon. It's going to end in the later part of the evening for all of you, all 3 days. So it's very convenient for all of you to participate in the conference.
Correct. Yeah, we kept that in mind for you guys. So, hopefully that does benefit you. So it's from Friday till Sunday. So, you don't have to worry about taking days off or much. Are there any other questions that we have?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you please elaborate the topics for UNSC, the United Nations Security Council, for this MUN?
So I mean, with the idea of our time, so there are two topics, right? The ones in situation in Mali, and the other one's the blue helmet situation, right? Now, of course, we can go an extensive discussion on that, but for the sake of time, you can jot the topics down, and we will give out study guides for each of these two topics soon. That will be up on our website anyhow, so in a day or two, so you can check that out. So that's that. So another question we said, so you don't have to pay to participate in the International Diplomatic Opera, which is taking place in a week or so. However, there is a fee to participate in International Youth Alliance, which is what we're discussing today. And another question is, why is this conference not free so that everyone can easily participate? Well, that's the thing, right? What we want to do is, having a fee is not only to cover all the costs that are being incurred here, right? But that is also to, because we're also paying these renowned speakers to come speak at our events, but also to make sure that everyone who's participating is serious about this, right? We don't want anyone just to be in the conference and just pretend this is just a joke or whatever and not take it seriously, right? Because I personally enjoy conferences where there's collaborative efforts. Everyone is doing the task, but enjoying it at the same time, right? So, that's one part of it. But what we are offering here to you, is the experience of a physical conference, right from the comfort of your home, in an international aspect, with a fee that is much less than what one would pay to, say, go to a conference in New York or any other parts of the world. So that is why the conference fee is there. Are there any other questions? And remember, as the committees and topics that are here today, you will get the study guides. Now, with that being said, we are at the last minute, and I guess we'll wrap it up. Shah, if you could just take that over, please.
Right. There's just one question that is asked privately, if there are scholarships. One, yes, as we partnered with International Diplomatic Opera, so the people who are going to win awards over there, we'll definitely consider them for scholarship. One. Secondly, by giving a reference of, that is why we made a collaboration, right? So if you want to participate in this conference, so you mentioned about that you've participated in International Diplomatic Opera, and in that same way you can make a reference to that, and we'll make sure that we look after you in the best way possible. So definitely we'll cater to the scholarships as well. And once you participate in IYAMUN, we would make sure that once you participate in the IYA virtual edition, you get a good scholarship when you participate in the physical edition as well. So
Right. So that's exactly our goal, to make sure that you get a good discount on the actual conference, the physical one.
So, having said that, we are now going to end this particular fruitful and very productive webinar. Thank you so much, the team members of International Diplomatic Opera, for joining in. And also, thank you so much, Team IYAMUN, for joining in and hosting this particular very fruitful webinar for everyone. We'd like to see and we'd like to transform that all of these particular delegates have the best experience both at International Diplomatic Opera as well as at IYAMUN. Having said that, we wish you all the best of the rest of your day, and see you all at the conferences that are
Right,
coming in.
and please follow us on Instagram to keep yourself updated. It's very important that you do so, so you get an idea what's happening all the time.
Right.
But again, thank you again, and Shah, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Have a
good day,
great
all.
day.
Bye.